Have our discussion questions for week 7, and I figure we'll get started. I'll start this one. I'll start this one. I'll take the first one for us.
Okay.
Um, so I got right here. My first question I brought from the 10 things we know about race and policing in the U.S. by Drew DeSilver. In this source, the Pew data kind of shows that most Black Americans report unfair treatment or suspicion from police, while many white Americans and many officers see these incidents as isolated rather than systemic. How does such different lived experiences and perceptions shape the national conversation about policing, and what makes it so difficult for groups to agree on whether the problem is the individual behavior or the larger system?
My take on that is that I feel like a lot of people lack empathy towards others. Like, I think that if, like, the mentality with certain individuals is like, if I haven't lived it or if I personally haven't been impacted by it, it's just either not real or it's exaggerated or it was like a one-time thing. But at the end of the day, like, if it's happening multiple times, it's just like not a one-time thing or it's not like oh, like it just went wrong. It's more of like, I feel like systematically just racism in the system that has been like just I guess like passed down.
Yeah, that's a good, because there's so many factors at play. I feel like we're always looking at like black or white or Republican or
Mhm.
Democrat, but there's so many different factors at play that age, um, you know,
Yeah.
man or woman. Like there's other factors we don't look at that I think
Mhm.
may also play a role in a sense. Just there's so much going on. There's so much going on
Yeah.
that it's hard to kind of pinpoint it on whether it's just this or that.
Yeah. And I feel like it just other people need to just really put like themselves in other people's shoes and like kind of understand their situation because I feel like someone's like, "Oh, well, this didn't happen to me, so it's just not a thing." And it's just that's not even close to the truth, you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, empathy is like the that's honestly like the strongest tool that
Yeah.
that could be used in this scenario.
Yeah.
Even like, we probably move on to the next questions because I guess we're starting to move on.
Okay, I got
You
you.
you you want to get one of yours in? We're
Yeah,
kind of
so
like,
I read the Policing in America article, and in it kind of was talking about the Cato Institute survey, and it just really goes into how most Americans, like across like racial and political groups, say they support the police, but Black and Hispanic Americans report lower trust and more negative personal experiences with officers. So, like, what I kind of got from it is like, how can we support for police, like how can support for policing exist at the same time as distrust, and what would actually need to change for communities to feel safer, more fairly treated?
that's a really good point. Um, I think there's a lot of factors that play with that, or just the media
Hmm.
showing videos. People. There's so many negative videos out there,
Yeah,
and there's also not enough de-escalation involved.
yeah.
Like, how do I say it? Like, now I'm drawing a blank on what I was gonna say. Well,
Very
um,
good. No, I feel like it's also like the mentality that some police officers go into it. I feel like, for example, if they're assigned like a really bad area, they'll already have in their mind like, oh, this is gonna be such a bad shift, or like I'm going to like this area I hate working in because it's so difficult on these. So it like already creates kind of like I guess a barrier between the police and the community when police officers already kind of have that mentality of like, oh, this is going to be such a bad shift, or, this
yeah,
community is so violent, or this and that. And it's like, you don't even go into the mentality of like, oh, I'm going to protect this community. It's more like you're going to control the community. You know what I mean?
no, I see what you're because there was the like the broken window policy they had where there was just
Yeah.
people were skipping the train toll and getting arrested for that and this and that. They were just arresting so many people,
Hmm.
and that's obviously disproportionately affecting people
Hmm.
of lower economic status because
Yeah.
someone with money is just going to pay the train toll. So
Yeah.
I, I feel like what really needs to happen is there needs to be more community outreach in police, and I think that like when I drive around like Oviedo for right next to UCF,
Yeah.
there's occasionally a cop posted up.
Yeah.
I don't really see like police going into communities and interacting and
Yeah.
talking to people and making friends. Like I feel like they should be like in a sense like I feel like people should know the local police, but
Yeah.
like me, I just see this cop posted up on Alafaya trying to pull
Yeah.
people over for going 10 over.
Yeah. No,
And
I
I
feel
feel
like
like
yeah, like a lot of events should have like maybe like the community and like police, like maybe like like a family outing type of thing where they have games and stuff like that. Like obviously the budgeting might be like a little bit of a restriction, but like even just like a police officer going door to door and like getting to know the neighbors and stuff like that. Like it doesn't have to have a big budget. It's literally just the police officers going out of their way to like create that, community. Because at the end of the day, they do have to make the first step because they are the ones coming into the community and they
That's a
are
good
the
point.
outsiders. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that is a very good point. I honestly didn't even think about that because
Yeah.
yeah, there's so much going on, there's so much back and forth, but in reality, like the police do have to make the first step and just I I think that could really help just having more
Yeah.
policies a lot like surrounding just getting the police out there and
Yeah.
in a sense making building rapport and making friends with the community.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to do a question?
Yeah, yeah. Let me pull my notes up. So a question I was kind of thinking of,
Mhm.
say in the sense of like, these big violent crimes that get blasted all over the media, like George Floyd, where it's always like a
Yeah.
white officer killing a black man.
Yeah.
Um, there's black officers too, and
Yeah.
you gotta wonder how they feel in a scenario where like they
Hmm.
understand what it is to be like a cop, so they're obviously on the cop side of the protest, but they also understand what it's like to be black in America, so they're on that side of the protests.
Hmm.
And like how do you kind of bridge that how do you kind of bridge that gap between like the
Yeah.
internal conflict and the external conflict the officers facing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like that's like a big issue because I've seen like a lot of on TikTok and social media is like police officers coming and be like, hey, like I understand what's been happening, and everybody coming at them, be like, but you're a cop, like stuff like that. And I feel like that kind of like if you sit here and you'll be like, oh, you're a cop and you're a black cop and you see what they're doing to the person, but then they're like, there's not enough diversity in the policing. It's like it's kind of like a double-edged sword in the sense of like if you stand like you can say and stand there and be like, hey, like I don't support what happened. What happened was a tragedy, which it was, but I'm still trying my best to either change the system or like, you know what I mean, better the community. But then, for example, like in social media, you're getting backlash. It's like what can you do? Or like when you come to work and then, for example, when the George Floyd thing happened, I'm sure like when a lot of black officers came into work, they were like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
how can you like go into work knowing that one of your partners could have done that to one, either to your family, to you, to the community, you know what I mean?
yeah. I want to find I forget which article it was in the modules, but
Mhm.
it was a statistic. I'm gonna look dumb trying to find it, but there was a statistic saying that most police officers felt that their job became harder after these scenarios happened, and
Yeah.
like that makes sense because it's the actions of one person
Hmm.
messing up everything for everybody else,
Hmm.
and it just gets put on blast.
Yeah. And it's just like, and then the perception of like, oh, all cops are like this. And even if that might not be the case, it's like, that's just what social media like sometimes pushes. And then, like for example, then black cops are coming into that community and they're like, yo, you stand with the police, like you do this and that. And it just creates even more distrust in the community because they're like, so you're not even going to stand with us and you're like the same color as we are. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. There's so much to play.
Yeah.
Um,
But I can go with the question.
oh, next question. Yeah, yeah.
So I was reading the Pew Research Center, for the key findings on how police view their jobs, amid protests and calls by Renee. And kind of like the Pew survey, like just kind of showed that most police officers feel proud of their work, but also kind of like the same thing, kind of feel frustrated, concerned for their safety, and believe that high profile incidents and protests have made policing just harder in general. And how might these fixed emotions affect the way officers interact with communities and what impact that could have on the trust between police officers and the public.
Okay, that's a really good point too.
Yeah.
Honestly, so this kind of resonates. So I feel like there's a lot of fear in police officers that really isn't like understood, and I'm gonna expand on that. So
Hmm.
I took this class. It was my freshman year at Seminole State, and
Hmm.
it was titled Intro to Law Enforcement. And I
Hmm.
think that like if you want to be a local cop, I think you have to take this class through Seminole State or at least something similar.
Yeah.
Um, and like first assignment, open it up, and it's just surprise, dude impaled with a stop sign. Second slide, third slide, like the whole course is
Yeah.
showing videos of
Like
cops getting
gory.
killed in
Yeah.
action. and I feel like it kind of like it's showing videos of police going up to a traffic stop and
Mhm.
getting shot right away, and I
Yeah.
think that's just adding fear into police when like
100%.
you don't want police to be afraid of every single person, which
Yeah.
they obviously need to understand the dangers of what they're doing. There is people that are
Yeah.
crazy, but
Yeah.
most people are great people and they're not going to hurt you. So like
Yeah.
if this cop is on edge going up to this door and he's showing he's
Yeah.
on edge, that's
Yeah.
just you're escalating a situation that doesn't need to be
Yeah.
escalated.
No, yeah, I feel like when a cop comes into like a community or like a situation, they're like already so nervous, like they know that the cameras are everywhere, that if anything happens, if one mishap occurs, like they're going to be all over social media. They're probably going to be like hacks, like their houses, like everyone's going to call either to their house, their job, their kids, their family's going to be put on blast. Like it's not even just like, which yes, accountability has to be there because obviously like you have a gun, like you have authority over people, but it's kind of
100%.
like that, like now you're hesitating or like you kind of have that in the back of your mind, like I can't mess up or this can happen or I'm being filmed, like it kind of being watched like 24/7, which is good in the sense that it creates accountability, but it kind of just like maybe sometimes like escalates a situation or sometimes like they're so scared of like social media or something like that that they won't act as they usually or they should act because they're so scared that they're gonna get like, like absolutely torn up and like written or whatever it might be. But like, and then that can cause even more tragedies. Like, for example, if there's a shooter or something, they might hesitate or whatever the case might be because of their race or because of what's going on politically. And it's like, you know,
Yeah. You know, even on top of that, so what was I think you said the statistic earlier, it was like what 3 to 7 months for like police academy, for local police academy?
oh yeah, well yeah, like one of the things that I also like think that you need to like kind of like come into like I guess like consideration is how like little police officers are in the academy. I read like somewhere it was like 3 to 6 months that you are in the academy, which to me it's like insane because the training for somebody that's holding a gun and like it's going out into communities, has a car, has authority over people to arrest people, to kill someone should be way greater in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, and I fully agree. I think that there's like a high level of like de-escalation training that we
Yeah,
lack, and it's you're
100.
looking at 3 to 6 months you said of a police academy. One semester for us is 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's not like you need way more than that. Like I
Mhm.
most of these classes I'm taking right now, I'm probably not going to remember much after them. And
Yeah.
you expect like a police
Mhm.
officer to get all that from police academy in 3 months? I don't
And
know.
like not even that, like the law, like them knowing the law, like it literally takes lawyers 3 years to
Yeah,
even like get through law school, but the laws that they are enforcing, they only have been familiar with for like 3 to 6 months. And like it's like a little bit of a course, you know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
understand like they have to pass the test, but you can always study for a test and then forget about it. You know what I mean? Like you like it's not something in their mind. They're like, okay, this like pertains to which law? Because at the end of the day, that's not, they have to interpret the law like in the moment. And it's like, I don't know. I think that they should have a little more training in that sense.
yep. I fully agree.
Yeah.
I fully agree.